Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Mama G. We have one guest that's here to watch our wonderful video all about auras. We're going to be talking all about auras. How do we see the auras? How do we see our own aura? Maybe a little bit of what the colors mean. I've written down a few little notes here. But there's easy ways to see the aura. But I think everybody will probably be able to naturally begin to see the aura again. So it's very interesting when you start adjusting your eyes in the right way. It's incredible that you can see the energy around you. And I know, hello, Heather. Thank you so much for
Hi,
being here as well. This is our
Dana.
lovely co-host, and we were talking yesterday, and she was telling me all about her experiences with seeing auras and doing it naturally. I don't know. Do you want to kind of remind the audience about how you were seeing the natural auras and what it was and what it meant to you? Do you mind sharing that story that you shared with me?
Sure. I'll be a bit more detailed than I was with you, but anyways, this was a business partner that we had had, and there was a lot of conflict that I had with this individual. I just wasn't. I didn't like his energy whatsoever. So one time he asked me to step outside of his house. There was all of us always gathered at his home, and so anyways we he asked me to step outside and he wanted to talk to me. And all I could see was this black aura around him. Everything was black. Even his eyes were black. And I just didn't feel good about him at all. And I just didn't trust him. Nothing. Nothing was good that was emitting from this man. And I just wanted to repel and run away from him. So I just knew that he put his arms or hands on my shoulder, and as soon as he did that, I just like, oh, yeah, get. I had to get away from this individual. So I did. I got away from him and left and went back in the house. And I just knew that he was up to no good. I can't tell you what he was going to do, but I knew it wasn't right. So that's one of the stories I have about seeing an aura. Mind you, that was black. I've seen many colors with other people in the past, but yeah, that one was the worst and scariest one I've seen.
I can relate. There's many times that I can see certain auras on certain people, and you can really understand their emotions even by the colors that they carry with them. It's very interesting when you start being able to see the energy field around people, and it's not as hard as you would think. I'm going to give you a few pointers to give it a try today, just so everybody can sort of exercise that ability that we all have. One thing I will warn though is once you can see energy, you can see all energy. So it's very important to understand that before we go ahead and say, okay, we're going to go and start seeing the energy that's around us. So there's always something, my story of the dark aura, and it's interesting because few people have seen dark auras, and I think it's because it stands out. What does blackness means? Well, it's the blackness or the grayness means that they're not really connected, or they're not really conscious, or they don't have their compassion intact. There's a few things that are going on with the black auras or the gray auras, and usually it just means that they need a little bit of work. Sometimes it means they're evil, or just they have no consciousness, or maybe sometimes they can even be kind of sociopathic if you're seeing dark spots. But if you're seeing like dark spots on the body or in the aura, that's usually blocks or tiredness, or things like that. So we can't always just go to evil. I mean, that's not exactly what we want to do, but I mean, I have seen the evil before as well. I had this one gentleman following me through the drug or through the grocery store, and I knew he was going to steal my money. I could tell he was following me around. He was completely dark and gray, and He followed me around the whole grocery store, and at the end of the aisle, I looked at him. I said, "I know what you're doing," and he beelined it right out of the grocery store as fast as you could go. So yeah, he followed me because he watched me take money out of the bank. So he knew that I had a lot of money in my wallet. And when you're grocery store shopping, you leave your purse or you go to the fruit and what have you, and you're not always looking. So he was just looking for his opportunity, but I was aware because I saw his aura. So it's very, I find that we all have that kind of intuitive sense about us. And I think it's important to understand it as well. But I mean, that's talking more about the negative. Most people walk around in beautiful colors. Do you remember seeing beautiful colors on people, or did you ever hear music with their colors?
Um, Recalling about music at this point, no, but I have seen, like you said, many people with beautiful colored auras, and so with that, there's one young woman that was at a gym that I went to, a workout center, and so early in the morning, you say good morning, and then all of a sudden, I just as I'm walking by, I'm looking at her, and I could see, this beautiful brightness, and I believe it was a gold, yeah, yellowy gold, and I'm just trying to, and pink. There we go. That's what it was. That those two colors, and and I just went up to her and I said, "Excuse me, but I'm just going to say this to you. You have a group of friends, but there's one in particular that would like to have more of a romantic relationship with you, then you're not aware, but he's not sure how to." And she goes, "That's interesting because there is one fella that I am interested in." And I said, I'm It's just this information that just came to me, and I hope you don't mind me saying it to you." And I just went on about my, and I don't think we ever talked about it again after that, but it was just information that came through to me. That's all.
Yeah, you can see how the emotion or what's going on with the people's emotion. If you see their aura, anytime I sit down to do a psychic reading, I always do just look at the colors that they're carrying with them. And that the duller colors maybe might be more on the more I don't want to say negative. What's a better word than negative? Um,
Just
Less
that they're going through
powerful.
something.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So less
yeah.
powerful, and they'll be duller, like a dull yellow will be a depression or a sadness that they carry with them. But the bright yellow is, oh, we're exciting, and it's magnetic, and we're energetic, and we're drawing things to us, and that's the gold as well. So there's these wonderful things that we can do, and even we can switch the color. So if our auras are sort of dim yellow or light yellow, we can actually just surround our beautiful energy and change the color in our intention. You can change the color in your intention. And that's the most significant part of understanding what auras do, because once we change the energy and the vibration that we're carrying with us, of course, it works as a boomerang. We'll send it out to the universe and it comes back to us. So I say that and I use that a lot, but that's exactly what ends up happening. So I think it's really interesting when we really tap into understanding how to do that, because not only can you change your aura, but you can change the auras of the people around you just by putting an intention on them. Like if I see couples fighting, or if I see people in disagreements, I'll actually surround them in a big pink bubble just by my intention. I'll see it around them. And you will see them calm down and usually separate, because you can't fight in a pink bubble.
I like that.
I know. And it's interesting when it works, and you get better and better as you go. So if somebody needs some healing, you surround them in a green aura or a pink aura. There's so many things that you can do, not only projecting the aura onto others. You don't want to give anybody something that they don't need, but you want to understand that if they're in a certain emotion, you can help them with the energy and giving them a color. Colors are very, very important to who we are and what it is. I know I've been having a rainbow today. I'm blue, I'm purple, I'm pink, and a lot of it is that I'm excited. I'm starting something new. That's what this channel is. I'm starting a whole bunch of new. So purple is strong psychic intuition, that kind of thing. Well, I have a bunch of readings this week, of course, so that's part of it. And pink is compassion and love. So, we want to put that out there as well, because it's very much a part of what we're doing here. We want to create a space where there's compassion and love and just a safe place to go when we're doing this chat room. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds wonderful. It's interesting because I was speaking with my niece who's 12 years old. And as I had said to you, she's very in tune to many things. And so anyways, she says, well, I think I'm rainbow. That's what she said about her aura. And she's such a love. She really is.
And what does rainbow mean? I wrote a whole bunch of things down. So busy creating in the midst of change, feeling energized and great vibes, all of these rainbows. But be careful not to get burnt out, because once all of this rainbow and all of these colors, sometimes you just need a solid color. Whether it be white or blue or something along those lines. White is purity, and most animals are white. If you look at animals, they have very little color. They're mostly white, is what you can see. So it's interesting that. So a little tip, I don't know, well, where are we? So we're a little bit into this, but we started a little bit late. So I wanted to make sure, how do you open up your field in order to see auras? Or did you say that you were having a little bit of a hard time lately, or you sort of moved away from that for some reason? Do you know?
Well, yes, actually, I did. It's the overthinking things, and I just, no, I'm not seeing that. I'm not doing, no. So that's where that's been happening quite a bit over the past couple of years, I would say. And but you're right. When you're in a good, positive, frame of mind, that you're able to see these things a lot clearer and a lot easier. You don't think about your stuff. You don't get caught up in your stresses, daily stresses. Mm-hmm.
So if you're finding yourself blocked, just really surround yourself in the white energy. That's what I always say. And really, it is all about intention. If you just close your eyes and say, I surround myself in this big, beautiful white bubble, and you just blow that bubble up. So when you take a deep breath in and then you blow it out, and it blows right up, and it can fill the whole room. And it's amazing when you do that, then you go out in public, because people can see that. People will stop and notice you and look at you, but they won't know what they're looking at. They won't have an understanding of what they're looking at. It's just you're vibrating at such a high level that you get noticed. And really, that's really what it's about. Not about getting noticed, obviously. It's not just about ego, but it's about carrying a good vibration with you, a good energy. Exactly. Because it's catchy. No matter what, it's catchy. So if you want to learn how to see your own energy, I think it's a really important thing to have a white background. So if you can have as much white, like even you can see the pink and the blue above me if you're looking on camera. Yep. Now it could just be my camera, but that's what it looks like to me. If you're looking up on the top there, and people won't be able to see this in the podcast, but if you're looking at my energy through this camera, you'll be able to actually see the colors. But if you just want to understand your own colors, sometimes it's good to stand with some sort of white sheet, have the camera in front of you or a big mirror in front of you, and then have the white sheet behind you, and just look at the mirror. And then the best thing is to start in the center of your forehead. So if you allow yourself to just look at the center of the forehead, your eyes are going to relax. They're going to go a little bit unfocused in a sense. And then you're just going to start seeing this little envelope around the head and the shoulders. That's the easiest place to see these beautiful auras. It's just this little envelope, and it moves. It goes in and out, and it breathes, and it's quite amazing. And when you see it, it's. Do you know what I'm speaking about, Heather?
Well, I'm seeing yours right now,
Right.
and you're right.
It,
Yes.
it is that little tiny thing, and you can see auras
Yep.
on camera. That's why people can take pictures. And even when I move, see how it's moving with me.
Yep.
And it's very
Yep.
interesting when you can do this. And I apologize to everybody who's listening to this, but just listen to what we're doing, and it's just confirming that we can see it. And but basically, when you're in front of the mirror, you are going to try not to move your eyes, try not to blink too much, because then you'll focus. You want to be a little tad unfocused when you're looking at your own aura. And then you're just going to assess, what is it? Is it all blue? Is it all white? Is it all yellow? Is it all whatever color? And then you can go to your reference points and see what kind of emotion you are, or where your blocks are, or if you have any other things that you need to kind of deal with. But not only that, you can see other people's energy as well. I always say start with a good, healthy plant and just look at the edge of the plant, or take a leaf and just look at the edge of the leaf. And it's got to be a healthy plant that's probably just been watered, because they're usually pretty happy when they've just been watered. So if you just start looking at the edge of the leaf, you'll start seeing this little envelope that I was talking about, and it breathes. You'll see it as a breeze. So it takes a little bit of practice. It's always better when there's a white background. That's always something that's very, very important, because you can see the white light through the white background. And basically, you're just looking past. You're looking almost through the object, and then you'll just start seeing it. And try not to blink, because then it'll go out of focus. So that's a little bit of a harder thing to do, but that's a really good way to start. I think plants are amazing to start with. Animals are amazing when they're sleeping, because then you can take some time. When you start staring at people's auras out in public, you get in trouble for staring at people. I've been in trouble quite a few times for staring at people, but it's just about being caught in, because their aura is huge. So, and I can see it, so I want to see more of it. So I keep staring, right, and then I get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, and then you did talk about taking photographs. Now, I went to an event where this woman had a special type of camera set up that it took pictures of all your auras, and she was able to tell you what all the colors meant and things like that. Is that something that you were meaning?
Well, the colors do mean something, and yes, you can photograph it, and you can actually, you need a special machine. If you got a good keen eye, you'll be able to see it on video. But it's more about what can you see when you're looking at your own aura and what color it is. How can you embrace it? How can you brighten up the aura? When you're looking at other people and seeing their auras, how can you help them? What is it that they need? Do you see a dull yellow around them? So let's make them happier, because they're not in a good place. So you want to make them brighter in some way. And whether that's a conversation you have, whether or not it's just a smile, there's so many ways to share that energy. And then when you can see it and it changes, back to the dark energy. I used to know this woman that would talk about her ex-girlfriend. And every time she would do that, I would see these giant black spirals coming out of her head, and they would just fly like a million miles an hour. And I'd just sit there and I'd watch her, and I'd be like, oh my. Every time you mentioned her name, these spirals were going out to the universe. And then she would come back and she would sit with me, and I'm running into her all over town, and so on and so forth. And I said, that's because you're putting the energy out there. And she goes, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, every time you mention her name, you have these spiral energy blurps that go out to the universe. It's no wonder you're running into her, because she's in your head and it's going out to the universe. So I think if we can understand how to utilize the energy better, we'll be able to put out there really what it is that we want. And then, you'll see the synchronicities drawing back to you in life, and the things that you don't want, or the things that you resist, persist, because you're exactly resisting it. So if you put out the right vibe and the right colors and whatever it is that you want to attract, whether it's red for action and fury or